Special welcome back to Prime Morning here, and we continue with News Flash with some discussions on pertinent issues that are happening across the country. My name is Razak Musbao, and it's a pleasure to be doing this for all of you. Now, we just want to scan the various newspapers and bring you up to speed on what's been reported there. And we're going to start with the Daily Gist, which I have here. And on the front page, you have the face of the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, and also you have that of Dr. Bagre Agyapong. You've got the face of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Nana Akufo-Addo. Now, just before I continue with the newspaper, let me just mention that we have a big conversation with the Northeast Regional Minister, Honorable Ibrahim Tia. Honorable, thank you very much for making time, and we'll come to you for that extensive conversation on the spillage of the Bagre Dam and plans that have been put in place to ensure that it is done safely and nobody and no property is affected. Honorable, thank you very much. But so, as I mentioned, the Daily Gist newspaper, you've got here Dr. Bagre Agyapong making the point that I bankroll Bawumia Akufo-Addo. As Dr. Bagre Agyapong, and of course, those statements have dominate the news cycle in recent days. And you also have Julius Deborah test presidential waters in Akwatia. Of course, the Chief of Staff has been in Akwatia ahead of the by-election, and he is also in the newspaper here. Also, anger in military over scrapping of key allowances. Yes, this is something that also came up yesterday, that some allowances that the soldiers were receiving has been scrapped. Then, 8 thugs convicted for beating Howard Kumsin. The police released a statement yesterday and confirmed that also. Then Kobby Agyapong files for NPP presidential race. All of that is on the Daily Gist newspaper. Then the Publisher newspaper has Intim fires at NPP bigots. Our tradition reject tribal religious politics. Very strong words there by the former Deputy Local Minister, Augustine Collins Intim. And you've got his picture there. And you also got OT records over 10,000 typhoid cases since January. And very, very alarming over there. You've got the picture of the Health Minister also there. Then NPP expands voter register. NPP expand voter register ahead of the presidential primaries. Then helicopter crash, Fidelity donate 500,000 Ghana cedis to Children's Support Fund. And a few other stories you could see there on the Publisher. So a lot of NPP items and health-related issues there also. And the Accra Times has GRA boss tells taxpayers, stop dodging tax. And MPA intensifies LPG safety campaign in Sunyani. And then Amenfi Central MP honored by persons with disabilities. Then MIDA backs Trump's vision for MCC reviews, and NPA schools stakeholders on draft bill. And Hansard serves as Mirror of Parliament as issues in Parliament also get featured on the front page of that newspaper. Then the Daily Graphic has the President, John Dramani Mahama, who is currently in Singapore. And on the front page of the Daily Graphic, you've got Ghana gateway to Africa's market. President Mahama to Singapore investors. The President wooing a lot of the investors in Singapore to Ghana. Then also innovative affordable housing solutions headline for tomorrow, and UPSA Hallmark Research Lab signs $240 million AI partnership, and police deploy 300 personnel at Binyiri as IGP visits to assess security situation. And we'll get to talk about the situation in Binyiri also there. But also dominating the news cycle is the Bagre Dam, as I mentioned earlier, and news reports suggest that a farmer of the age of 55 is the latest victim of we understand, of that very spillage. We understand one farmer, Jacob Nuluki, has lost his life, and that was confirmed by assembly member for the area. But one of the areas that will also be affected by this spillage is the Northeast region, and some communities there will be affected. The regional minister for the area is Honorable Ibrahim Tia, and he joins me now for some conversation on this. Honorable, good morning, and thank you very much for making time. Hello, Honorable. All right, we'll try and... Honorable, can you please unmute your sound? Honorable, can you hear me now? All right, we'll try and work on the connection with the Honorable Minister. He's the Minister for the Northeast region, and we'll try and establish that connection and get into that conversation. But as I was mentioning, great. Yes, wonderful. I think I can hear you now. Thank you very much for joining us, Honorable.
Good morning, and thank you to your wide audience of listeners and to management of your station.
Wonderful. Honorable, let's start talking about the Bagre Dam spillage. It's an annual thing that happens, and every now and then we are concerned. We are concerned because of the impact it has on livelihoods in and around, among all the communities in the area. Your region will be affected by this spillage. Tell us the extent to which it will be affected.
Yeah, I think one of the aspects that we'll be looking at those who farm along the White Volta. As at now, most of them, their crops are not yet ready for harvesting. And once the dam is open, the spillage will come and affect those crops that are already ready for harvesting. However, a few of them are ready. Those who planted maize in the early season of in the early stages of the season are ready for harvesting, but they are just very few. But majority of them, the water will surely cover them and they will not be ready to harvest anything from that. So those farmers will be greatly affected. And aside that, I just want to correct this impression about the unfortunate incident where Baba Takora passed on. You know, when they opened the Bagre Dam in Burkina Faso, it will take 3 days before it will get into our territory. I mean, in Ghana. So as at yesterday, the water hadn't reached our region yet. Baba Takora unfortunately invited people to help him harvest his maize. And what really happened, he went to fetch water for them for their consumption. And unfortunately, when he was fetching the water, there was a deep pool there, and that was where he fell in, but not the Bagre Dam water that really consumed him.
Okay.
This is the real situation on the ground here.
Okay, wonderful. It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate that he lost his life there. But as you mentioned, it's unrelated to the Bagre Dam spillage, as has been reported by some online portals. But let's talk about some of the measures you've put in place, because you mentioned that, especially these farmers, their crops, it's not time for them to harvest it, but because of the spillage, they have to improvise and harvest it. Let's talk about some of the measures you put in place to try and ensure that, especially this period within which they are trying to see what they can get out of their, from their crops, at least they can get something that can sustain them. What kind of measures have you put in place in that regard?
Yeah, the Regional Coordinating Council has activated the Regional Disaster Management Committee with all the relevant stakeholders on board. And then we've sensitized all the communities along the White Volta, making them understand that the water will be coming anytime soon. And for that matter, they should all leave the river banks and move to safety lands. Aside that, a management team from the National Disaster Management, NADMO, in the region, prepared with engine boats along the White Volta stretch, ready to evacuate any victim who is found maybe wanted within the river banks. Again, we have made tents available for those who will not be able to move away so that we can get them to safer lands for safety. However, there's intensive campaign along the stretch right from Palu up to Basinke, to Yama, Bulibia, along our stretch up to Mampuruma, stretching into the northern sector of northern region. So we've done enough campaign, sensitize the people to live to safer grounds.
I mean, wonderful. You said you are intensifying the campaign to get the people to move to safer lands. But the concern here is for some of them, when they get to these safer lands, they are moving away from, they're moving to places where they ordinarily might not be able to fend for themselves. We've had stories of in the past where some people, having moved away from their homes, are struggling to feed, etc. Have you made any provisions in that regard, some relief items you're looking to provide for them?
Yeah, we have been in constant touch with the National Disaster Management Organization to see the type of relief that we will get very soon from them to assist such victims as mentioned. And then the first batch of the...
I seem to have lost the Honorable very briefly there, but we're speaking to Honorable Ibrahim Tiahi.
The emergency team arrived yesterday, and I think subsequently... I've lost me.
Yeah, Honorable, you can continue. We can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I'm saying that we are still in contact with them. And then very soon, I think some relief items will be released for us to see how we can assist unfortunate victims along the side.
Honorable, I'm sure, the timeliness of these relief items is very important. And considering this is an annual thing, we're just hoping that NADMO have what they need to supply all the things that these people will need within this very difficult time, because sometimes we do hear concern that NADMO say they do not have the necessary items. Have you gotten the guarantee you need that indeed they have sufficient supply to take care of the people?
Yeah, I'm having a meeting with the regional NADMO director this morning, and then we'll be reaching out to the deputy general manager for the deputy NADMO director will be in the region, and we'll be having discussions today as to how we are going to assess the relief items for the people. I know because of, they arrived yesterday. As it is, it will take time for these relief items to arrive from Accra. However, we as a region too are also trying to put our heads together and see whatever package that we can put in place. I've been in talks with the Mampuruma District Chief Executive and the West Mampuruma Municipal Chief Executive, so that we put our heads together and see what we can do to safeguard the situation as of now.
But after the spillage has taken place and the people return to their homes, we know that the expected yields from their crop, they are not going to get it. And consequently, their income is going to be on the low. Is there anything you're putting in place to try and also help them post the spillage, as far as, trying to, make up for the losses that they incurred because of this spillage to their crop and the impact on their crops?
Yeah, going forward, I've been in touch with the regional director of Agri Services for us to see how we can get early yielding variety of seeds, crops, so that when they harvest in the season, they can harvest before the spillage of the Bagre Dam. And then, as the norm goes for those farming around the stretch of the White Volta, usually they do 2 seasonal farming. This one will be over, but when the water passes, then they do farming for that will be the later part of farming. So mostly they farm beans, and then that one also yields well to substitute for their income and the losses that they have made in the early sowing that they have done. So with that, I think we have been in talks, and then once we are also preparing to receive other items from NADMO, I think that will also help supplement for whatever we'll be helping them with.
I mean, this is an inconvenience that the people have to live with year after year. I mean, if you're talking about a sustainable solution, what is the sustainable solution to this so that, you know, our brothers and sisters wouldn't have to continue, you know, this issue of relocating to some other areas? It's an inconvenience that we seem not to have had a lasting solution to. What is the lasting solution to this?
Yeah, just like I mentioned, one, if we're able to get the early yielding seeds.
No, I'm talking about the lasting solution to the dam spillage, the impact on the dam spillage. Like, what can we do to avoid this spillage on a sustainable scale?
Well, when we get the Palgo multipurpose dam constructed, no matter the spillage from Bagre Dam, that dam can contain the water, and the disaster that it causes along the wide voltage stretch into the northern, northeast region, upper east, northeast, and then northern region will be stopped completely. That is one of the major things that we have to be looking at. And also sensitizing our people, those communities that are living closer to the wide volta to migrate. These are the only options. But I think that if the dam is constructed, I think it will be the lasting solution to all this spillage, because the water will be contained there for multipurpose farming, and then we will not experience any spillage across the wide volta.
But I mean, you are in government. Do you have any plans of constructing this dam? We know that that project started in the past administration. They could not complete it as promised. You have returned to power now. What is the plan as far as this dam is concerned?
Well, certainly yes. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was speaking about his reset agenda, when he visited my region, the Palgo multipurpose dam was one of the projects that he highlighted that when he comes to power, he will be looking at it. And I think, yes, looking at the institution in which we find ourselves, the president is working hard to see how we can get monies to get that dam worked on. However, we have to follow the monies that they paid and they did nothing there. We have to get that money retrieved so that maybe whatever resources that we are looking for, we add up and see to it that the dam comes to fruition.
I mean, based on the information you are privy to, when should the people see some construction begin?
Certainly, this has to do with Minister of Agric, Minister of Finance, and the presidency. But we have been in talks. At the right time, if the resources are made available, I think, His Excellency is there. We have a 4-year mandate. And I think before the 4-year ends, I think certainly we'll see results coming from the Palgo multipurpose dam.
Okay, interesting. I mean, just to drift a little away from the Bagre Dam spillage and the Palugu Dam, your region has experienced some relative peace and it has received some commendation. I mean, talk to us what it is that you've been embarking on for which we have experienced such peace, especially in and around Wali Wali.
Yeah, one, I think the ongoing mediation process has given hope to people that there will be lasting peace. And the second thing is we keep engaging stakeholders, opinion leaders, and then we've all been talking about peace, peace, and peace. The attack.
I mean, that's really, really instructive there. But one of the issues also that has surfaced, which I think you didn't touch on, has to do with it's a subtle issue, but it appears to be creeping in the communities in the Northeast region. It has to do with drug abuse among the young people in that part of the country. I mean, has this come to your attention, and what has been the efforts in that regard also?
Oh, yes. This is a very good reminder. We had a regional security committee meeting, and we discussed it extensively. And then after the regional security meeting, we met the overlord to seek his blessings so that maybe we met other stakeholders too, which we making them to understand that we are coming with a full-scale war on those who smuggle the tramadol into the country and those who even bring it into the communities for sale and those who even use it. And I think with the cooperation of the youth groups from the various communities, Nalergu, Gambaga, we have already kickstarted something. Yesterday, for instance, I was at the palace and we had to speak extensively on it. Yesterday, again, I had a meeting with Food and Drugs Authority, Narcotics Control, National Security, and then Standards Board. And we came up with a roadmap. We are going to engage all the youth groups in the various communities to put them into work job committees so that they will help us on the ground to identify those who are selling and those who are even using it. And then we'll see how we bring them to book. As I'm speaking to you, we have already, the youth groups in Alego have already arrested some number of people and handed them over to the police, and they are in police custody. Some have been remanded. So we're working seriously, and then there are a lot of activities that we intend ruling out. I wouldn't want to bring it out on air, else, drug peddlers, when they listen to whatever plans that you have, they will try to have another way around again. But I think that.
But Honorable, just beyond the arrest, though, beyond the arrest, especially for those using it, beyond the arrest, are there any interventions you're putting in place to try and take care of them? Because some of them, they have become addicts. They become addicts and they've lost control of themselves. They are hooked to it. And putting them in prison will not be enough. There have to be some rehab centers where they can recover. Do you have any such plans for them also?
Yeah, certainly we'll be getting there. The addicts is one stretch, and those who are selling are our main targets as at now. Because if we're able to combat the source of the trafficking of the illicit drugs into the region, then that means we'll be able to win the war against the abuse. So yeah, eventually we'll get those who are addicted for them to see how they can rehabilitate them, fine. But we really need to deal with the source, because we are liably informed that they bring these drugs across borders into our country. And just like I mentioned, there are plans advanced for us to see how we are going to stop that. I want to mention that.
Yeah, just also because these suppliers have found it profitable to do it because there appears to be a demand. But that demand is also informed by some fundamental cause. If you read the literature, you talk about some of these young people having peculiar life challenges, which is influencing them to go and use drugs as a cover-up for some of those challenges. There's reference to instability at home and why some young people often end up becoming victims of it. There's reference to unemployment. There are myriads of social issues that these people are going through, which is pushing them to take in these drugs just to cover up for some of these issues. What in your research account for why most young people in your region are going for these drugs? And what have you put in place to resolve it?
Yeah, just like I mentioned, you see, the devil finds work for idle hands.
So unemployment is the major cause?
Of course. So that is why we are saying that, yes, certainly government cannot find jobs for white-collar jobs for everybody. So for us, we have an aggressive plan to get most of our youth involved in the all-year farming. When we make the interventions suitable for them, they will come in, like the Agri Mechanization Center that His Excellency spoke in the reset agenda. That is what we are pursuing. So as of now, we are forming groups. And like I mentioned of the tomato seed that we have started, we have already started with the demonstration funds. We brought in a number of dry season gardeners for them to look at it. And then we'll try to bring in incentives, the packages under the agribusiness, under His Excellency's reset agenda on agric. So that when we bring them in and help them with the seed, help them with the inputs, so the only thing is the labor aspect that they are going to employ there. Yes, they will be able to produce the tomato, they will produce onion, they will produce the watermelon. And I think these are the things that can yield very well here. And those who also want to go into commercial farming, for commercial farming, yes, you need some substantial amount of money. But look, if you want to do, say, 5-10 acres of rice, that one is easy. We can help you with the inputs and you do it, and then you don't need so much capital to go into that. As of now, we're engaged in looking at trying to get tens of thousands of hectares of land, the arable lands around our area so that we will clear it. Then we'll get most of our youth engaged in this, and I think it will help them. This is the long-term solution that we are looking at. We don't need to use any knee-jerk solution as of now, which will not stand the test of time. And I think it's a pragmatic efforts that we are putting in to see that, yes, it will yield dividends, whilst we also combat the fighting of those who transport the illicit drugs into their country.
Well, Honorable, we really appreciate your time, and thank you for the good work you're doing for our brothers in the Northeast region, and we pray that you will continue to deliver in that regard. Thank you very much for making time, Honorable Ibrahim
Thank you
Tia.
so much for giving me this audience. I'm most grateful.
Yeah, we're most grateful to you too. Honorable Ibrahim Tia is the Northeast Regional Minister. He joined us to talk about a range of issues in his region, the Bagre Dam spillage, drug abuse, and a few other interventions that are being rolled out in the region to help the people there. But moving on, the NPP Flagbearer Race is now heating up because the various aspirants are now filing their nominations. And it started yesterday with Engineer Kobby Agyapong. And yesterday he filed his form, and he's been speaking about what he intends to do for the country and also for the party.
General Secretary of the NPP, Kobby Agyapong, is looking to be third time lucky as he has officially filed his nomination form to contest the flag bearer race of the NPP for the third time. And he says that he represents a new era and that delegates should choose him over his competitors.
And I'm calling all my other competitors. Let's have a proper debate. Let's elevate the discourse. You know, that's what is important. The Ghanaian people, they deserve to know our views on major national issues. The party delegates deserve to know. So this is not a popularity contest. You understand? So they need to test our views on major issues. And I think that if they submit themselves to a debate, that will be very good for all of us. And it will change the atmosphere that seems a bit poisoned now.
Well, his campaign manager also says that they are now touching base with all the grassroots of the new patriotic party. That is a new strategy that they are adopting to ensure that he wins the flag bearer race this time.
Well, this time we are touching base with almost every delegate of the country. We are doing a nationwide tour. In addition, we're going to use the press as well to sell our vision. We are going to debate issues and not display wealth, antagonize our colleagues, and give hope to the hopeless and the delegates.
Well, it's heating up, and so far he has become the first person to file his nomination for the flag bearer position of the new patriotic party. Others will also follow suit very soon, with the elections which will be held on the 31st of January 2026 ever looming closer. From the headquarters of the NPP, my name is Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
So that's my colleague Kenneth Jesse there. But later today, two of the aspirants will also be filing their nominations. We're going to have Honorable Kennedy Agyapong file his nomination, then also Dr. Brian Agyapong also filing his nomination. So it's going to be very busy at the party office. Then on Thursday, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will also file his nomination. Now, let's get to the camp of Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, and we're joined by lawyer Kobby Amoah, and just get some update on the team's readiness for that, what do you call it, filing of nomination. We understand it's going to be quite a fanfare. Kobby, good morning, and I hope you're doing great.
Good morning, Ms. Bao. I'm doing great this morning. I mean, today promises to be a good day, and we are quite hopeful for what lies ahead. I think the journey, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong's path to becoming president in 2029 officially starts today, and we are happy to start engaging with the process.
Interesting. I'm just curious what the plan looks like. You mentioned it's expected to be an exciting time today. what is the plan like? What do you intend to do today, beyond the filing of nominations?
So, yes, initially we wanted it to be a quiet filing where Honorable...
That would have been a surprise.
A few people... I mean, that was the initial plan. But yes, I understand why it would have been a surprise because of the love that and the kind of support that he has. Immediately people get wind of it, there's going to be a huge crowd. Initially, even through our discussions, few people got wind of it. And the pressure that we started mounting on the team, we had to actually announce it for people to know that indeed we are filing, and we are filing today at 1 p.m. at the party's headquarters. So basically, it's just Honorable's team that is going to file. There's not much of an intentional effort to get partisans or a crowd there. But if tell you the number of calls. I nearly missed your producer's call because I've been receiving so many calls that people asking for directions where we are moving from and others. So yes, the participants are excited and we are expecting a few of them to be there.
You mentioned that the filing is going to be done by members of his camp. Is that to suggest himself? He will not be there himself?
Oh, he'll definitely be there himself. He will definitely be there himself. He'll be there to file, and possibly after the filing, if there's an opportunity, speak to a few pressmen.
I was even curious whether you were going to hold, a mini rally of a sort after that. You don't have plans for that?
No, we don't have plans for a mini rally. I guess going to file, you submit the documents, and hopefully there'll be an opportunity after the events to speak to a few pressmen, then we come back to base.
I mean, how challenging or otherwise was it for you to meet all the requirements? Especially you had to get quite a number of people endorsing the form across the region. How challenging or otherwise was it?
The biggest challenge was who to sign, in that the party requires 10 people from each region, and there are so many people who were willing to endorse the forms. So selecting the 2 out of the many was actually our biggest challenge. As to the process, the documentations needed and others, that was not much of a challenge because, Honorable went through a similar process a few years ago, and the process was quite similar. The documents were quite similar. So it wasn't much of a challenge gathering the documents. I mean, yes, there was a pile of documents that we needed to gather. We had to also go through, proofread and everything. But now we are all set and ready to hit.
I mean, just a few days ago, Musa Dankwa, Global Info Analytics, came out with a recent, polls ahead of that race, and it did not put your candidate in the best of position. But you are still confident that you're going to win the race. I mean, tell me the kind of work you've done based on which you are confident, despite the polls saying otherwise.
We are going to win the race. We've seen a couple of research reports, not just by Musa Dankwa, there was one by Sanity Africa, and there are others by other reputable institutions. And we as a team, we've also had our own research. I think for Musa Dankwa's report, I think we take it in good faith as good feedback. However, there are a few points where we disagree in relation to how the distribution of the demographics were. If you look within the NPP party, Honorable Kennedy's base strength is within the youth who believe that he is a man to come and create jobs for the people. He is a grassroots person. But a lot of looking at the demography, a lot of the people were picked from demographics which we may not necessarily deem to be his strength. However, it also lets us know that has also been good feedback for us to know some weaknesses or some areas of improvement within the team, which we are working on. So, our team is driven by a lot of research, a lot of science and data, and we're also on the ground. People are buying Honorable Kennedy's message. When you speak to people, they know that they tell you, we believe the last time was a mistake. If we had fielded a candidate as strong as Honorable Kennedy, he would have won the election.
I mean, just when Kobby Agyapong filed his forms and he was interacting with the media, he threw a challenge. He said he wants a debate with all the other candidates. Honorable Kennedy Agyapong ready for a debate?
We've not discussed that as a team, so I don't want to commit it here. But I believe that Honorable Kennedy he probably has been in the party more than anyone else. Maybe unless maybe the only person who may compare is Kobby Agyapong. He understands the party. He has contributed to the party in so many in diverse ways, understands the party, and the people believe that he's the one to lead.
So he wouldn't have a problem with a debate, would he?
Pardon?
He wouldn't have a problem with a debate.
I don't think he would have, but I would also not want to commit to it because we have not discussed that as a team.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. I just understand also that Honorable Adokmako Kisi is also joining us. Let me just touch base with him. Kobby, if you could just hang in there briefly, because I have a question for you on the expansion of the voter register. The party has released a statement in that regard. I want to get your thoughts on that. But Honorable Adokmako, thank you very much also for joining us. Later today, your candidate will also file, nominations. And your candidate has been in the news because of some strong comments he's been making a lot. But first of all, how are you ready? Have you satisfied all the requirements, and was it challenging at all doing so?
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me. The process was very straightforward, and the requirements are not difficult in terms of those recommending or endorsing you as a candidate. And besides that, too, I think the world is well aware of the long service that Dr. Bagre has given to the party, in addition to his ongoing financial support, amongst other things. So it was not difficult. And I think hopefully today, somewhere around 4 p.m., we will head to the party to, as it is, put in our documentation.
I mean, can you share a bit more details with us about what the plan really is after the filing of nomination? We know that, like all other candidates, you are going to go there with a crowd, but what will you do after the nomination? Are you going to hold a mini rally or something?
Well, what we intend to do, our candidate honestly has a few meetings in the morning, further deliberation about the current state of the party and plans for Apetia, which is also very important for him. He's been very deeply concerned about the party's ability to win Apetia. So these are some of the front burner issues. I think when we're done with the submission today, what he is hoping to do is to address the few people that may come to support the agenda. And after that, we'll wait until after Apetia to visit the various constituencies.
What about the challenge for a debate? What about the challenge for a debate? I mean, the camp of Honorable Ken hasn't taken a decision yet. Hopefully we'll get a response. But has your camp had the call by Kobby Agyapong that you should have a debate? And what is Dr. Bagre Agyapong saying about it?
Well, I mean, parliamentarians are the seasoned debaters in the country, and will never shy away from any debate. As well, our candidate has entered his fourth term as a member of parliament. He's eloquent, he's very knowledgeable, and very well-rounded. So it's not a matter of any shying away. He can have a debate any day, any time. And that is to be determined by the party and the total number of contenders. So as to his readiness, that is, he's as ever ready as any day when you're ready.
Interesting. Just finally, before I let you go, because I know you've got some engagement to make, the party has released a circular on the album, the album that will be used for the election. I'm sure you've seen it. Are you satisfied? Because we understand that this circular was based on the recommendations that were made by the respective, officials in the party. And if you look at it, quite an extensive list of people will be forming the delegate base. Are you satisfied with it?
Well, I think the additions for the election, the categories are as we all know. And we hope that the process will be a process of integrity. There will be validation, verification of every name that will be added. And if we do the right thing and the integrity of the album is maintained, all parties will be very comfortable.
Interesting.
And I think to help with one key thing, I need to put on record that our candidate, Dr. Bagre is very focused on bringing the party together. And it's unfortunate there's been misinformation about, very simple, factual comments that he made. And we think that tribal sentiments should be, excluded in terms of the interpretation of very factual details. And may I add that he stated categorically that there are many issues from a party standpoint, governance standpoint, and candidature standpoint that work against us. And as it is, he listed a myriad of things, including the economic situation of Ghana at the time of election. And more importantly, the fact that we cannot discount things associated or related to our candidature. And for that matter, because we're in a deficit of well over 2 million voters, it's important that in the future, as we do our selection, we go with our best foot forward and go with a candidate with, as it is, less baggage, less issues that will reduce the groupings that need to show up to give us the votes we need. So I think this was taken largely out of context, and there's a huge social army of disinformation agents who have, as it is, misinformed the public. And I also do not support people taking videos and pictures from an internal high-level party meeting and putting it out. These things are not for public consumption. And during very deep discussions with party high-level people, these discussions need to be open, very frank, and there's no other place to hold such meetings, no other place to deliberate on such matters. So these are some of our thoughts with regards to the unfortunate misinformation within and outside of the party.
I mean, I'm just wondering, though, it does appear that the campaign by Dr. Bagre Agyapong is focused on, messages that intended to win support away from Dr. Amoah. Are you not concerned in any way the inroads that Honorable Kennedy Agyapong is also making in this context? Are you not concerned about that also?
I think Kennedy was not the candidate. And by virtue of that, it will be unfair to, as it is, when discussing the ills of the last election, to bring him in. Our focus was on, one, the party, Our focus was on the governance and things that impacted and will impact the future election. And admittedly, we know that none of our candidates have a background related to one of the groupings involved in the conflict. And as a serious party, we need to confront this issue head on because it has some impact on our fortune.
All right.
And we don't want to discount it.
All right.
So pardon, it's unfortunate, the rhetoric, the slandering, the foul playing within politics sometimes gets overboard.
All right.
But we're resolute, very focused on delivering for the party, and we side with former President Kufuor, who says that a party is done largely to act as wrestle and gain power. And after power has been gained, all the technocrats, all the people can then make use of the knowledge acquired.
All right, Honorable.
So these are our thoughts, and we want to deliver for Ghanaians, the youth. We want to make sure the party is more attractive, and for that matter, very focused on delivering jobs and creating a very business-friendly environment.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you very much, Honorable. Kobby, if you're still there, I want to get your thoughts on the album. And are you satisfied? Is your camp satisfied with it? Or do you have any other concerns relating to it? Hello, Kobby? All right, we'll try and see whether we can establish contact with Kobby. Kobby, can you hear me?
If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I was getting your thoughts on the album.
We'll try and see whether we can establish contact with Kobby.
Kobby, can you hear me?
If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I was getting your thoughts on the album. Establish contact with Kobby. Kobby, can you hear me?
If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Kobby, I can hear you now. If you can hear me, we can hear you now. All right, we'll try and rectify that and see. We just lost him there, but as I mentioned, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and Dr. Bagre Agyapong will all be submitting their forms later today. And just on the matter of the album, the NPP has announced the inclusion of additional categories of party officials and dignitaries in the voter register for its upcoming presidential primary. Kobby, there's been a lot of talk about expanding the vote base of the party, especially for the presidential primaries. It does appear the party has responded. That has been done. Are you satisfied? All right, we'll try and rectify.
With a crowd, but what will you do after the nomination? I don't know.
We'll try and fix that. We seem to be having issues.
Hello?
Yeah, Kobby, can you hear me now? I hope you can hear me very well.
Your mic in the studio is muted, so if you could correct that.
Okay. They'll correct that, but I think I can hear you now. So great. I was asking you about the album. Are you satisfied with it?
Okay, yes. So with the album, I think as of now, we can't complain about the album. It's gone through the process that has been approved by conference the last time we met here in Accra. I think that's the most important thing now is the validation of the members of the album, especially those who are now joining. Per the constitutional amendment, some old MPs, some old MMDCs who ordinarily, or some old executives who ordinarily would not have been on the album are now going to have voting rights.
Yeah.
And as to who they are, and we are doing this from 1992. Some of them may not still be alive, some may be alive, trying to validate who was constituency chairman, chair or chairperson of a constituency in 1992 takes some kind of rigor. And I hope that the party is able to put in place enough measures to ensure that there is sanctity in relation to that category of people who are going to join the album. I think it's the only challenge or the only thing we are looking forward to is now the validation of the album. But as to the category of people who are part of the album, is something that nobody can do anything about. And I think it's something that we welcome. In fact, Honorable Kennedy was someone who single-handedly championed this agenda to have people who have served in the party in various capacities who were no longer on the album to come to be part of the album. Imagine Kennedy, being a member of parliament for 6 terms, and as of now, per the old arrangement, he wouldn't have been on the album after all his contribution to the party. So I think it's something that we welcome. We look forward to a proper validation process.
Well, Kobby, thank you very much for your time this morning. Kobby is a member of the Kennedy Agyapong campaign team, and they're preparing for the filing of nominations later at 1 p.m. today. We'll bring you more on that on the channel, and at 4 p.m. Dr. Bagre Agyapong will also do his. But as I mentioned earlier, yesterday, Kobby Agyapong started all of this process, and his campaign manager is Mr. Ofosu Asamoah, and he joins me for some quick chat on the campaign of engineer Kobby Agyapong. Mr. Asamoah, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to your listeners.
Wonderful. What is the state of Kobby Agyapong's campaign at the moment?
Yes, yesterday, as we have already mentioned, we filed a nomination. That means we have completed the process into gaining the full status of an aspiring flag bearer of the party. So it's for the party to get our documents that have been submitted. Already the verification for the payment has already been done. We have issued a receipt. So it is now for us to touch base with the delegates all over the country so that in January we can secure the slot to become the flag bearer of the party and possibly the president come the next election. So that is what we are just about, starting from tomorrow to do the nationwide.
I mean, you say you are now going to touch base with all the delegates in the country. I'm sure you might have done some work in that regard before filing. And if you did, what hint did you get that your candidate had any chance at all of winning it?
You know that when nominations were open for us to pick the form, immediately thereafter there was an announcement that due to the death of our MP Atakutia and pending the election, every supposed candidate or aspiring flag bearer should suspend any form of campaign until after the election. So no vigorous work has been done in terms of campaigning because we respect the rules of the game. So nothing much has been done, so I cannot talk about that now.
But I'm sure
all that I can say is that from next week, we are hitting the road to touch base with all delegates across the 16 regions.
But I'm sure you've seen some research that has been put out there relating to this race. Top of them is the Global Info Analytics poll, and the score that your candidate had seems to suggest that he does not have a good chance of winning the race. Have you seen that research, and what's your reaction to it?
Yes, I've seen it. That is what I'm alluding to, the data of some of these polls. You and I are aware that this is what the party has put across, that we should not campaign. I am aware that some of our contestants, our co-contestants, are going around. Some are at home, Senate, others that we have down. So that's what
Mr. Asamoah, we seem to be losing you. Can you please just position yourself? We seem not to be hearing you clearly.
What I'm saying is that after picking the nomination forms, we have lost a member of parliament. We are told we shouldn't do any form of campaign, right?
Yeah.
Until after the. I know that some of our contestants have defied it and they are out there with their campaign team. We are abiding by the rules of the game. So definitely to go on the ground and we have picked forms and we have a campaign. Just a few people may have heard of it or may know what we are doing. So the results that they are getting are not reflective of the actual situation. Their own perspective. So just give us 2 more weeks, and you see where they will place us.
But what is it about your candidate? What is it about your candidate? His personality, his track record. What is it about him that makes you confident that he can appeal to the delegates?
Everybody knows, including our own contestants, that he's the best among equals. He's a man you can trust. He's a man of integrity. He's a man that will deliver on his word and anything that is given him. He has occupied the highest position in the party as a general secretary. He started as an errand boy under PJ Darocha, Victor Musu, and the founding fathers of the party. He has served in the campaign team and campaigned actively and been a campaign manager under Nana Fado. He worked with President Kufuor. He worked with all the others, all the chairs, and campaigned actively. Even when he was out of office as a general secretary, he still committed himself. And even with Baumia when he lost the primaries against him. So he's a man, he's a guy in the good MPP, is committed to the cause of the party. And in his private life as an engineer, he has excelled. And even when he was the executive director of the Ghana Institute of Engineers, he served at the presidency under Kufuor for almost 7 years, and he received the national honor for his distinguished service. So when it comes to governance, he has excelled. When it comes to the party, he has risen to become the highest position holder in the party as general secretary in his private life. And everywhere you find governor, you can know the only thing you can say about him is that he's disciplined, he will sacrifice, he doesn't work looking at the reward that will come, except that he will always pursue his vision. He started this in 2007 when he was one of the aspirants, and he has since not abandoned his vision. And each time he has tried and was unsuccessful, he's so committed to the cause of the party to make sure that if he was not successful as a president or as an aspirant, at least the party should be successful.
I mean,
he has worked towards this.
Mr. Asamoah, we know he has made a call for a debate. Now, we've interacted with the camp of Dr. Bagre Agyapong. They say they are ready for the debate. We've interacted with the camp of Kennedy Agyapong. They say they are not afraid of a debate. However, they are yet to take a decision on it. We are yet to hear from the camp of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Why is Engineer Kobby Agyapong calling for a debate? What is it? Why do you want a debate?
Yes. You see, we are calling for the debate because we are seeking the mandate of the people to lead the party and to, what do you call it, to become the president of Ghana and lead the whole country. So for the people to entrust such a thing into our hand, they should know what's up for them. And it's only when we are able to present a policy for them to pay. And it's going to go, but you have the same.
No, your line is breaking. Your line is breaking.
And as properly. Through that, they can attend so that
Mr. Asamoah, your line is breaking.
Really?
Yeah, your line was breaking briefly. You're making a point about the debate.
Is it better now?
Yes, it is better. Thank you.
I'm saying that we are proposing a debate and urging our own contestants to subscribe to it. Because it is during the debate that all of us will be put on the platform for our audience and for that matter, our delegates who are going to choose us and entrust the power into our hands, assess us better. Rather than we going to beat them privately, secretly, and promising them things that may be real or just to get their votes.
All right.
In the debate.
All right. But are you also concerned about this conversation, this money conversation? Because we had the camp of Dr. Bagre Agyapong, and Dr. Bagre Agyapong has had a strong message about the funding, how much he's funded the party, and that's the message he's been sending across. He's been a strong financier of the party. And we've also heard the camp of Kennedy Agyapong make such strong argument that they've been strong financiers of the party. I mean, it's not a message we've heard from your camp, but are you concerned that this contest might end up being a contest of who has, the biggest share as far as money is concerned. Are you concerned that we might end up turning this contest into a money contest?
I am very concerned, and it is not for this presidency alone or the contest for flag bearership, but in the immediate past parliamentary primary that went, we have to, of course, the fact that money is determined to be the candidate for each constituency at a time, not only in the NPP, but almost in all the parties, so that we are gradually turning the democracy into a monocracy where the highest gets the throne. And that's dangerous. So that if we have people who are knowledgeable, have the expertise of leadership and committed to lead, they will not get the opportunity. Now, even take our own party, what we have now, to pick a form to become a flag bearer, to pay 100,000 upfront, you will go and pay 500 on submitting, and you will pay a huge million as development fee. If you don't have about 5 million Ghana, you cannot be a flag bearer. You cannot be the flag bearer race of the NPP. I'm telling you. And this is the word of what you are going to use in your round, campaigning the whole country, your vehicle, and all the others. And that is serious. How many people, me like this, I think I'm a fit and proper person to lead this country as a president, and I can do better than most people who find themselves there or who want to be there. But money is a barrier.
But at the moment, is your camp? But is Doctor?
I think that it is something that as a country we have to look at.
But are you
go around with the best message?
But are you financially ready to take up this tax? Is the camp of Kobby Agyapong financially ready to take up this tax now?
Oh yes, we are ready. If we are not ready, we will not go and fire. We are ready, and not just ready, we are very ready to meet all the challenges that secure as perfect. Financially, physically, intellectually, that is why we are feeling it. We are very prepared.
All right.
We are very prepared.
All right.
It's a challenge, a contest, but it's not something that cannot overcome and secure the success that we want. All right, financially, I don't think any of them can match us.
Wait,
that we are not out there to play well.
You said none of the candidates can match Kobby Agyapong financially. Brian Agyapong can match him, Kennedy Agyapong can match him. Except
that we are not there to display wealth. But if it comes to the requisite finances to finance our campaign, to secure success, I tell you, brother, we are very ready and prepared to execute and prosecute this agenda.
Well, you're essentially saying that Kobby Agyapong is the richest among all the candidates.
I am not saying he's the richest among the candidates. Nobody has seen anybody's bank account or any money anywhere. Everybody goes out and says, I can do this, I will do this, I have done this. But I'm saying that the camp of Kobby Agyapong, where campaign money, we have enough to prosecute our agenda to become flag bearer, but we are not or any.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Asamoah Boateng. We wish you the very, Mr. Asamoah. Thank you. Ofosu Asamoah. Yeah, Mr. Ofosu Asamoah. Mr. Ofosu Asamoah. Thank you very much. We wish you the very best when you start your campaign next week, and hopefully we'll be able to be in touch with you as you go around the country. The very best to you and your team, sir. All right, so that's Mr. Ofosu Asamoah there. He's the campaign manager for engineer Kobby Agyapong. They are undeterred by all other candidates in this race, be it financially, intellectually, in any shape or form. They are ready to take on the task as far as this flag bearer race is concerned. So we'll continue the conversation. We'll bring you more as and when the candidates also qualify their nomination later at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. By Kennedy Agyapong and Dr. Brian Agyapong, respectively. Okay, now let's turn attention to some very concerning development in the Savannah region, because we understand 9 people have lost their lives, and 29 of them have also gotten injured because of a dispute over land. And in fact, there were visuals that emerged yesterday evening of women, children, young people who were standing by the roadside, and it seemed they were looking for transport to flee the community. And it is extremely worrying what is happening there. All right? Now, the IGP visited the region in the course of this week, deployed in excess of 300 police personnel to try and bring peace there. He's been speaking about that very conflict surfacing in the region.
Both sides of the conflict, and tell them they should put down their arms so that if there's anything, the chiefs will talk about it to make sure that they bring peace to the area. And so we know that coming to him, he's doing all that will bring peace here. We are coming to encourage him and also pray that all the efforts he's making, the various chiefs, the various youths from all sides that are involved in this conflict will listen to him so that at the end of the day, the very quiet Savannah region that we know will be at peace. Okay, so well done for Mr. Bass. Yes. We thank you for your vision. People can come back to their settlements and then go about their normal duties. Yes. So because of that, I'm here with the regional minister, the DC, the NIB from Accra, that is the Director General NIB, yes, and also with the GOC of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Northern Sector. Yes, is also here. The REXEC also follow up. And then we met the Yagbonwura, yes, who also decided to give us a delegation to follow us, because he controls all this area, yes, so that they will see to themselves what has happened to the jurisdictions that you people are controlling. Yes. So they are also, it's a very large delegation.
On grounds in the Savannah region, Isaac Nyonya is my colleague, our correspondent in the Savannah region, and he joins me for the latest on that very unfortunate development in the region. And I was just talking earlier about some, mothers and young people who are lining up on the street at night, clearly trying to flee the town. And we'll bring you visuals of that. But let me touch base with Isaac now. Isaac, and you can see it on your screen is now at the moment. They were fleeing the town. These are people who have lived there probably all their lives, but are now having to flee the town. Isaac, thank you very much for making time to join us this morning. Tell us, what is this land dispute all about?
Well, like rightly said, it has to do with a land dispute between two groups. But at the moment, the matter has escalated to deaths and the destruction of properties. In the sense that what has happened so far regarding people fleeing away from their homes and some also protesting over the destruction of their properties. You know, when the IGP came, we went to communities that were affected, right from right from Sola. In the daytime, you saw a lot of people who flew to the police station trying to leave the district to other regions and then also trying to find their way outside the district. We saw a good number of women and children. Then some young men among them also gathered there. We met 2-3 women were told by themselves that they were in the bush and they managed to find their way to the Sola police station. And so that is the picture on the ground now. And let me also add that somewhere at Binyiri, we got there and there was fresh burning of the Binyiri Chief Palace, right? His motorbikes, about 2-3 rooms were still on fire. And this had a heightened tension because there are people that are going to escalate the fight to so many areas, in the sense that we saw a good number of people with red bands on their heads and arms, on their shops and homes, signifying that when we had a chat with them, they said that these are signs that they are not part of the conflict. And when you identify them with these bands, meaning You should not touch them. They are not part. Beyond that, at Tuna, from Calabar to Tuna to Tola, you know, from between Tuna and Tola, the highway is about 30 to 50 kilometers. And you saw people walking on the road in the attempt to get to Solar or get vehicles on the way to take them where they want to go. And also we met
Seem to have lost my colleague Isaac briefly there, but he's a regional correspondent in the Savannah region, bringing us up to speed on exactly what is happening in that region. Isaac, we lost you briefly. If you can continue. Hello, Isaac. Seem to have lost Isaac again there, but we'll try and reconnect, work out the lines and reconnect with him again. But on your screens are, what do you call it? He just mentioned to us that the palace of the chief of Bagre has been burnt down. It's been burnt down. A number of houses have been burnt down. And already it's been reported 9 people have lost their lives and 29 of them have been injured. He also tells us that a number of the people are fleeing their homes to the police, what do you call it, station, with some looking to flee the community. And we've seen pictures of some of them by the roadside, waiting for any sort of vehicle to jump on it and to flee it. And all of this is happening in the Savannah region. It's extremely unfortunate. The police have deployed 300 personnel to try and contain the situation and restore calm in the area. Because when these conflicts happen, women and children are often the major victims. They're left homeless and left, with no idea of what to head to. Really unfortunate development in the region at the moment. Really unfortunate. We're just coming back from, restoring some level of calm in Boko and its surroundings, and this is also rearing its head. Very, very unfortunate. And we are hoping that the police and all relevant stakeholders can restore some calm. Isaac, have you been able to re-establish contact with Isaac so we can get deeper into this? Hello, Isaac. Well, we seem not to have been able to establish contact with Isaac, but as I mentioned that some deployment has been made into the area to try and contain this. I will just bring you that story because it's been featured in the papers also as far as that is concerned. Very, very unfortunate development there. So the IGP was there to, assess the situation, and some 300 police personnel were, deployed there. So in the page 13 of the Daily Graphic, that story was captured there that the Inspector General of Police, Christian Teteyonu, and a team of top security officers have engaged chiefs, opinion leaders, and community stakeholders at Bagre and the Sola, Tuna, Kalba district in the Savannah region as part of efforts to restore peace and stability in the area. Now, we understand that communal clashes over land ownership in the area has left quite a number of people dead, with more than a dozen others injured at the weekend. The IGP team visited Bagre to assess the situation with uncertainty hanging over the area. Now, we understand women and children are reportedly fleeing to safety. Now, a reinforcement team has since been deployed from Accra to Sola, Bagre, and Guiniri, and other adjoining communities to beef up security to maintain calm. Now, we understand that earlier on Monday, the IGP met with the Regional Security Council chaired by the Regional Minister, and a few other people were also engaged on the matter. Now, 9 people have been killed, while 29 others have sustained injuries at the situation. We've been able to get my colleague Isaac Nyonyo back on the line. Isaac, we lost you briefly, but we just want to appreciate exactly which groups of people are fighting over which land in particular.
Well, there are people who stayed in the same community at Binyiri. As much as I don't want to identify the two tribes, which may escalate more attention. There are people resident of Binyiri, a resident and then the son of the chief of Binyiri, who first had a disagreement over the parcel of land because the resident said that his grandfather owns the land, the particular place that he wanted to extend the building to. But the chief's son said, no, this place, somebody, you bought this one, your grandfather bought this one, or this belongs to you, but the other land is for the chief of the area, and he wants to give it to another person. So you should not extend the thing there. And that was why tension escalated and led to fighting and later to what we are witnessing now. But we can say that the underlying cause of this particular incident is something that has been there for years. Let's remember that there have been 4 different problems regarding this issue. It is just the 5th one that led to the fighting and then the loss of lives. So you understand that this case has been there boiling underground until this one resulted in physical exchanges of blows.
So from physical exchanges of blows has now escalated to killings, destruction of properties, and even the burning of the chief palace. Where is the chief at the moment?
The chief is currently at Kalba. You know, Kalba is where another chief is his brother, who's a chief there. And that was where he first moved to before the house was burnt. Now, the 2 districts, Solatuna Kalba and that of Bole, the 2 districts inhabitants inhabits the 2 people. You have a good number of these people who are mostly farmers or business people. And now when it happened like that, when they abandoned their towns, you realize that all their shops and homes were all empty. And we can also see that those who were trying to flee away were women and children on the way, walking long distances, trying to catch up with any vehicle or any safe place that they know that they can pass the night or stay put till daybreak. Right now, people are still on the highway walking. They are not relaxing on their effort to move out of the place. And many will continue to flee because the burning of the Binyiri's chief palace and the burning of some houses in Tuna and other environs, which means that nobody is giving peace a chance for now. IGP was there with the men, but the place being a rural in nature, where the security cannot extend their surveillance to, is where the fighting is now taking place. We can't speak to the figures. If not, we know that a lot of things are happening in the bush and in the farms. And we don't know the number of casualties that are in the farms. But we can confirm today that 2 people were confirmed dead, killed in the Bola district, and then 4 in the Solatuna Kaba district, where a lot of houses, 3 houses burned around Tuna, and then two around Sola, Nairi, and Nasoiri, and Solimpe Kura.
Wait, so you mentioned that where the conflict is happening, the very rural area it is happening, the police personnel are not there. Is that the case? Then where are the police personnel at the moment?
The police personnel are in the visible towns where, when they say visible towns, where a lot of residents or buildings are concentrated, like Binyiri and Calabar. These are the 2 rural communities that you can see the visible presence of the police. Because the issue led to the burning of the Binyiri Chief Palace because the security personnel station there said they were to escort some residents who were fleeing the place. So on their return, the place was set on fire. In Calabar, you have both police and military stationed there. But beyond these 2 communities, the rest are settlement communities, farming for that nature. And you can't have the police because their number, according to the IGP, is limited. And that was why those people who moved from Binyiri Chief Palace to escort the people returned and the place was burnt. If they had enough personnel, which he wants to do now, the place will have burnt, and then the additional houses and the destruction and the killing will not be happening.
I mean, Isaac, from where you stand, what could be the best solution to this conflict?
The best solution is, number one, the killing should stop. That is it. And the people should compromise their positions and come to the table to address their differences. And then if there are conditions to be given, those conditions should be given. But the stakeholders who are mediating this must play a very neutral role. If LDP are said to play a neutral role, if you want to mediate, you play a neutral role, all factions, even though they may not be happy with you, they will accept the truth and then go with the conditions that the mediator will give, and the people will be given a chance. If not, we can tell you that there's going to be more destruction on the ground. Between now and the dry season, there's going to be more burning because people are very angry and people are ready to retaliate with what has happened and what is still happening. So the security personnel are vulnerable on the ground, I must say. They are vulnerable because there are a lot of people who are laying ambush in their farms, who are laying in the bush. They have not gone far. They are there monitoring what is happening. And anybody around can be a casualty because you don't know who's watching you from where and who is armed and who can fire at you. So the suspicion level has heightened and the destruction is ongoing. And the tension among people, suspicion and mistrust is also heightened.
Very interesting. And it seems to suggest that maybe the IGP will have to do more than he's currently doing to try and contain the issue. Well, Isaac, stay safe, and we'll try and hope that all the security apparatus can be, attention could be turned to that area for us to have some calm in the area. Thank you very much, Isaac. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. That's my Isaac. He's our Savannah regional correspondent, bringing us up to speed on that conflict happening in the region, where we understand women and children are fleeing the town. They are fleeing their homes. They are running away from their source of livelihoods and hoping to find some peace in neighboring communities. And he mentions that a lot of people have lost their lives, and even the numbers that have been reported, it might be more than that because some people might have lost their lives in the farms. All right, great. Well, let's take some of your messages that have come through now, and then we'll see what you've been saying about all these issues we've been talking about. But fundamentally, this conflict needs to be dealt with. We can't afford to lose any more lives because of a land dispute, and especially these young children. All right, I'm sure for most of them, they probably had school this morning to go. They had school to go this morning and have had to abandon their school and flee the community. What they used to call home is no longer home now. And let's see how we can deal with it. Anyway, let's see. Some messages have come through now. We'll try and get those messages for you briefly, and and get into to hear what it is that you have been saying about it. We've seen that a number of your messages have come through, but if you haven't sent it, you can also join us now and send the messages, and we'll get to read them for you now. Okay, so let's get talking about the messages that have come through now, and you can see. So let's start from now. Meshach Asante Atamasaman. Meshach says, I don't understand why. Okay. Quite unrelated to the issues we are talking about here. This one from Gasti Man in Brekum. He says, when eagles saw the crows may gather and cow, but the eagle does not descend to argue. Dr. Bawumia remains focused, not because he is untouched by noise, but because he knows leadership is proven by vision, not insult. Let others throw words. He's busy building a future. That's Gasti Man from Bekum. Interesting there. All right. This is Teacher Kujo from Tepa. Says, nobody compares to Dr. Bawumia in this present dispensation. He's a nerd, innovative, and visionary. He's the man we need to move Ghana forward, but Ghanaians are too blind to notice. Vote wisely next time, and you'll never regret it. He's the man, the next president of Ghana. You can hate him, that's your problem, not mine. Greetings to Chairman Deneho, Honorable Eric Nana Agyapong Prempeh, MP for Ahaf North, GFK, and Mr. Wusu Bempa, the Ishaisu constituency chairman. Hopeful. Okay. Let's see some more messages coming through. Okay, some more messages coming through here. This is Musa Abatwa in Asawasi. He says, MPP's internal fighting is reaching a crescendo. It seems unavoidable since some bigwigs in the party are the ones stoking the fire. However, we humbly appeal to them to relocate their battles to Burkina Faso or even fly to the UK. And after they are done, they can return to Ghana to continue enjoying the reset agenda. On the matter of debate, all that the candidates have accepted, except Dr. Bawumia, and it must surely come on so the delegates can make an informed decision. Interesting. Well, Dr. Bawumia's camp has not responded to the call for a debate, so let's see what do you call it? What happened. Anyway, so we'll bring you more updates on the flag bearer race. This is still Prime Morning. It's News Flash. And, but while at it, guys, if you're a small business, etc., please, you need to pay attention to this because we are inviting you to enjoy a stress-free shopping experience with unbeatable discount and amazing prices. We invite you to be part of the EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair, the biggest sales bazaar where buyers and sellers meet. In fact, some of the items that will be exhibited include, we will have food, we're going to have textiles, we're going to have fashion, we're going to have consumer electronics, home decor, appliances, furniture, automobile, technology, all under one roof at unbeatable, affordable prices. It is, don't call me at its best. Don't call me at its best. Anything at all you want is going to be at the SME Fair, the EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair. So make sure you turn up. And it's going to be happening on the 31st of October to the 2nd of November at the Good Park at the Crown Mall off the Sprinters Road. And if you want to register as an exhibitor or vendor, you need to call this number, 0500 238383. 0500 238383 or 0244 453929. 0244 453929. And remember, it's powered by Joy Prime and supported by Joy FM, Joy News, Hit FM, and myjoyonline.com. If you're a small business, register, because it's going to be a very big marketplace for you to sell all your goods. I'm telling you. Come there. You've not made money the whole year. This is the place to make the money that you've been looking to make this year. So call, register, and get to exhibit your goods. And all of you who have been looking to buy one thing or the other, come to the fair, the 31st to the 2nd of November. You can get anything you want.